welcome to another day of Vlogmas. So today, this is like a kind of sequel to the 2023 series video that I did a couple of days ago. This is all of the series that I started prior to 2023. So where I'm up to with all of my series. Now I've got them all written down and I've very helpfully got Bella sat right on top of the bits that I need. So I'm gonna just move her, she can sit on my lap. So prior to 2023, I had got 44 series that I was working on. I have split this list into ones that I have DNF'd, that I have made progress on, that I have finished or I'm up to date on, or that I made no progress. And I will say as well, actually, of these 44 series, these are 44 series where I could have made progress. So books where I was already up to date are not included on this list. This is only ones that I could have read something this year and where I'm now up to. So we're going to start off with the positive. We're going to start off with the 7 series that I have finished or I'm up to date with. So we've got Ninth House. I read Ninth House back in I think 2020 and I read Hellbent this year. I probably should have reread but I didn't. So I'm now up to date with the Ninth House series. We've got Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. So that series, which I think is The Last Hours, the final book, Chain of Thorns, had to check, came out earlier this year and I have now finished that series. We've got The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. I read book 1 a while ago. I don't know when it came out, 21 maybe. I read book 2, The Monarchs, this year. It was fine, but that series is finished. It was just a duology. I have finished it. It is fine. It is done. It wasn't my favourite. Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Again, book 4 came out in September, I believe, or October, and I've read it and loved it. Fantastic. 5 stars. Finished that series. Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. Again, I have read the second book, Amari and the Great Game, and I'm now up to date. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. So this is just the first trilogy. I haven't read the kind of like spin-off, so Hand on the Wall and the other one, Nine Liars. I haven't read those 2 yet, but of the trilogy, I have finished that trilogy. And finally, Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I read The Shadow Cabinet this year and so I'm therefore up to date with that series. There were also some series that I have continued on with, which again I'm just going to run through. So we've got Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I'm currently working on that series and I should finish that one. So I'm currently working on a vlog project to read final books and series, and I've got 3 final books that I wanted to read. Defiant, book 4 in the Skyward series, is one of those final books, so hopefully that will move to finished by the end of this week, but I'm pre-filming this, so by the time you watch this video I might have finished that series, I might not have. We've then got Adventures on Trains by Sam Sedgman and M.G. Leonard. I have continued with that series. We've got Keepers of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger, which again I have made progress on this year. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman I have made progress on, and The Prison Healer by Lynette Nonny I have made progress on. I do also want to mention Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So I have reread books 1 and 2. And I'm planning on reading book 3 as this finishing series vlog that I'm currently working on, so that one also should be finished by the time we're watching this. So that was the 5 series that I've made progress on but not yet finished, and I have got then 9 DNFs where I have just decided I'm no longer reading that series. So we've got Grace and Fury. I don't remember who that's by. I read book 1 I think in 2019. I tried to read book 2 this year. I just realised that actually my reading tastes have changed and I have no more interest in this series, so that one I have DNF'd. Viper by Bex Hogan. This one hurt. I loved Viper. I did enjoy the second book, which was no, Vengeful. I don't remember what the second book was called. Also began with a V. I really liked it. But I wish I'd reread Viper before reading the second book. So when book 3 came out, I think over a year ago, I hadn't read. I knew I needed to reread books 1 and 2 before I could read book 3. I'm no longer really interested in YA fantasy, and especially not pirate fantasy. So I've decided that I'm just going to DNF that series and gift it to somebody who will enjoy it a lot more than me. But it does still hurt. We've then got Stalk and Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco. So I read books 1 and 2 a couple of years ago. They were fine. But again, my reading tastes have changed. I read and DNF'd book 3, Escaping from Houdini, last month. My reading tastes have changed now. I'm no longer really reading YA, and I just wasn't interested in the book, so I decided no, DNF in that series. We've then got From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I read book 1 from Blood and Ash in 2020 and I adored it. Absolutely loved it. 5 stars. And I've never continued. And I feel like since then I've seen quite a few negative reviews of the 3rd book in the trilogy. I see people are like not too big of fans of the kind of spin-off trilogy. So I was like, am I ever going to read this? I do own book 2, but it is on my Kindle. So again, it's never one that I see and I'm like, oh, need to read that. So I've kind of soft DNF'd this series because it is, as of now, a DNF. I'm not intending to continue with this series. But if I found the whole series in like a charity shop or something, I would probably pick them up and I would probably be more inclined to try and read them again. But again, at this moment in time, they are a DNF. I've then got The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read book 1, I liked it, but I kind of realised I'm never going to read book 2, and I'm never going to finish this series. I can DNF. Ice Planet Barbarians. So I read the first 4 in this series. All of the stories are identical. They all follow the exact same plots and point, and so I was like, well, I don't need to read 22 identical stories about blue alien porn. So I get DNF'd. Series of Unfortunate Events. So this is a weird one because I don't really know why I decided to do this, but back in I think 2021, maybe 22, I decided I was going to collect all of the Series of Unfortunate Events books in hardback. So I managed to get the first 5 or 6 or something. Read the first one and I liked it. I think I gave it 3 stars, 3.5. It was fine. But I realised that the Neil Patrick Harris Netflix version pretty much used the book as a script. So the TV show was so true to the book that it kind of made the book better. The book kind of felt a little bit flat because obviously the TV show had all of this extra. They didn't add in extra kind of plot lines, but they added in, you've got more visuals, you've got more kind of character development there. So I realised that actually I didn't want to read the books, I just wanted to watch the TV show. So the next series that I have decided to DNF this year is Pages & Co. by Anna James. I read the first 2. I've been meaning to read the 3rd book for probably the last 2 years, and I've just kind of decided this year, do you know what, I'm never going to read it. So let's just cut my losses. DNF. Move the cat. And the last series I've chosen to DNF this year is The XX by Erin Sterling. I liked The XX. It was fine. It was enjoyable. I do own The Kiss Curse. I think I've only got it on my Kindle. But Another Halloween has been and gone and I haven't read it. I don't think that I'm going to read it any other time of the year. So I don't think that I've just chosen it. I'm going to DNF it. Again, I might still pick up The Kiss Curse at some point, but I'm not kind of pressuring myself to read it. It's not a priority. So they are, let me just again squish the cat out of the way. They're the books that I have finished, that I've continued and that I've DNF'd. That leaves me with 23 books that I had started prior to 2023 that I have made zero progress in. So let's go through those. So we're going to start off with Artemis Fowl. So this one has a little asterisk next to it because I did actually restart reading Artemis Fowl this year. I read book 1 this year, but I had already read that anyway. I restarted because I couldn't remember where I was up to in the series. I don't know which ones I've read and which ones I haven't read, so I'm starting again from scratch. So I've started this series this year, but also I had already read that one, so it was a reread and doesn't really count. Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Yang. I have read the first 2. I now do own book 3. I just need to read it. The Beautiful by Renée Ahdieh. I have owned, I think I've read book 1 and 2. I've owned book 3 since it came out. I really need to read that. I'm going to need to do a reread by this point, but I need to get on that. Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. So I'm not too concerned with this one because I started reading the Percy Jackson books again from Percy Jackson. Finished that series, started the Heroes of Olympus series, finished that one. Trials of Apollo is my next Percy Jackson series to read, and I'll be rereading book 1 and then I'll be continuing the series. So I am fully intending to continue that series, but that will be in 2024. Raybearer by Jordan Ifako, I have not continued. Stormkeeper's Island by Caroline Donahue, I believe. I have only just bought book 3 in that series, so I can now continue. Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. This one I'm very nervous about. I read book 1, I liked it. I own books 2 and 3 in the Fairy Loot special editions, and I am quite nervous that I am not going to enjoy these books. So I do want to make progress and actually finish off that series. We've then got the Broken Earth series by N.K. Jemisin. I started reading book 2 this year, but I put it down halfway through. Again, that was one that I started reading for a reading prompt for Magical Readathon. I read half of it. I didn't finish it in time for the Magical Readathon in August, and it just then kind of got pushed back, and I was like, actually, I'm just going to softy an effort. I'm not going to continue it at this point, but I do fully intend to. Evelyn Jones by Phil Hicks. I really love this series. I've read the first 2. I need to read the 3rd one. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I want to reread The Poppy War and then continue the series. The 100 by Cass Morgan. I've read the first 2. I have 2 more to go. Just need to carry on. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So I have reread books 1 and 2. So I have made no progress in this series, but I have started it again. I do intend to read A Curse of True Love in this week's reading vlog, where I'm reading final books, which means that I will finish off that series, but as of this moment in time, I haven't. Themis Files by Sebastian Nouveau. I have made no progress. City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Again, I would like to reread City of Brass before continuing on, but I haven't done that yet. Law Olympus by Rachel Smith. I have made no progress. Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I have not continued yet. Saga, the graphic novel series. I have only read volume 1. I need to continue. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I have not continued. We have obviously got a theme here. Dreamland Billionaires by Lauren Asher. I'm unsure on this one because the final offer, is it the final offer? Well, the first book is The Fine Print. The Fine Print I liked. I haven't continued, and I'm kind of unsure if I will continue. Like, I want to, but at the same time I kind of don't want to. So that one is a question mark. It depends whether, like, as and when, if I get those books, I may continue, I may not. Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I do want to continue. Shades of Magic by V. Schwab. This is another one, slight question mark. I read book 1 and it was okay. I didn't love it. But I do want to continue with this series, and I do want to get then to read Fragile Threads of Power. But I am nervous about continuing because I wasn't massively blown away by A Dark Shade of Magic, so question mark on that one. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adam, I have made no progress. And Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, I have made 0 progress. So, we again move the cat. At the start of 2023, I had 44 series which I could have made progress on. I have finished 7, yay. I've continued with 5, made progress in 5. I've DNF'd 9 and have made no progress in 23, which means that gives me, if we take out the ones that I've finished or I'm up to date with and the DNFs, I have got 28 series which are still ongoing that I started prior to the start of 2023, which I think is pretty good going. I'm quite happy with that. So that is my series check-in. Please do let me know if you have read any of these series. What do I need to be prioritising? I am in 2024 going to have a vlog series where I will be reading series and making progress in some series, hopefully. But let me know which ones I should be prioritising first. If you like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe down below, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!